Hi, welcome to my channel Rohit Speak, and this is episode 4 from my series called as Drug Crisis. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the drugs people take to help with their sleep and their anxiety. And on this first shot, you see are the three drugs which are commonly being prescribed in US and Western countries where people are been taking that for sleep and for getting rid of anxiety. Now, the only issue with them is they are very habit forming and people get used to it, get hooked onto it, and they need that for sleeping. And technically, it hasn't led to too many deaths due to overdose, but there are so many complications. So I will talk about that with these drugs. So as you can see, there are three: Valium, also called as diazepam, that's the chemical; Ambien, which is also has a chemical called as zolpidem; and then there is Xanax, which is alprazolam. All these three are a class of compound called as benzodiazepine. Now, I'll talk about that, but this is what all these three drugs have. Now, when you want to sleep, is basically your neurons go into a hyperpolarized state. That is where normally what happens is when neurons are fired, basically when you're active, one neuron will, as you can see in this image, one neuron will fire the signal to another neuron, and then that will go to the another neuron, and that will make your muscle relax, make you run, whatever it is you want to do as your active state. But when you want to go to relax, this has to stop. This action potential has to be stopped. So what happens is when the nerve impulse is there that you have to go to relaxation state, there are chemical stores in your nerves called as GABA. These are released and they go and bind to the next nerve, and they allow chlorine ions to go in and allows your nerves to go in this hyperpolarized state where you go to relax and then finally off to sleep. Now, when you have insomnia or you're not able to sleep, basically this GABA is not able to allow chlorine ions to go in. They are not efficient enough, and hence you're not falling asleep. So what these class of drugs do is basically, as you can see, these black kind of elbow-shaped structure here, they go and bind to these receptors. And what will allow is basically this GABA, when it binds, it has to allow chlorine to enter. But normally now, when you're suffering from insomnia, it's not entering very easily. What these drugs will do, they will go and they will open that up more along with GABA and allow chlorine ions to start going back in. And hence, what will happen is your neurons will be hyperpolarized and you will go back to sleep. So that's how they benzodiazepine or all these sleeping pills work. So basically, they will open your neuron receptors with GABA and allow chlorine ions to go into the next neuron and make it hyperpolarized. Now, before we get into the natural, which helps you with this, the problem with these drugs is that they are very habit forming. So when you start taking these drugs just to allow you to sleep, you're allowing something unnatural to get into your body, and have explained that before. It's just your nerves get used to it, and then now when you want to get rid of it, you will go through this withdrawals where you will not be able to sleep as fast as you were, and hence you will start taking more and more of these drugs. Now, as I explained before, also, like, these drugs haven't caused overdose or led to the death of people, but it has caused, when you take these drugs along with an opioid, which I covered in the previous video, or with an alcohol, it will give you a very you go to this hyper relaxed state where your breathing will drop and might lead to somebody's death. So the only problem with these drugs are they are habit forming. You get very used to it, and since they make you feel so relaxed, you don't worry about anything, hence also called as anxiety. I'll explain that in a few seconds, but hence you get very hooked onto this drug and you keep taking it to get make yourself feel relaxed, go back to that zone where you're not feeling that anxious or, oh, I have to do this, I have to do, oh, I'm getting pressurized or whatever it is. That's why people start taking this drugs. Now, Valium and Ambien. So Ambien is 3 times more effective than Valium. So for example, around 40 mg is required for a human to sleep and basically keep you relaxed and you go back to your normal sleep cycle. Valium is around, they give you 2 mgs or 2 to 10 mgs, and you have to take 3 to 4 times a day. Ambien, on the other hand, you can take the 5 mgs. It is 3 times more effective, and you have to take it once, and you will be in your normal sleep cycle, or you'll feel relaxed and everything. But as you can see, Xanax is prescribed for anxiety. So when you anxiety in normal words is basically you feel anxious about every step. You're, oh, I have to do this, or I have to get this, oh, this is gonna be affected, or you're anxious to do things, and you keep thinking, and you basically your nerves are firing constant. You might lead to a panic attack, which will be then related to your respiratory issue, and then all sorts of issue follows the panic attack. So people are prescribed with anxiety medicine, which is Xanax, which, as you can see, it's 0.25 mg. It is 4 times less than what Valium has been given. So this is in such a low dose that it will just make you feel relaxed, make your muscles relax, make your nerves relax. You won't be constantly thinking. And people have been on this medication for ages. Some of them been on Xanax for like 30 years, 40 years. They are fine. They are totally doing fine. It's just that they have to get this and to make sure that they are less anxious. So with these drugs, just my idea was to tell you that there are different way they act. Like for example, zolpidem or Ambien is 3 times more effective. So if you take more than what you're supposed to and you have sip of alcohol or whatever it is, you might lead to your shortness of breath and death. So these are the medications which I wanted to cover in my sleep and anxiety drugs, and how they affect your system and how easily it is habit forming. Given that, how would you normally keep yourself being feeling anxious, or we want to be have a normal sleeping schedule without help of these drugs? And if you have taken these drugs and you want to get off of it, and then how naturally you can increase your GABA so it helps you hyperpolarize your neurons and make you sleep. And there are a lot of these things, and I have covered that before, but again, it's soy proteins, fermented yogurt. Fermented food is naturally better for you. Oranges, citrus fruits, walnuts, spinach, lentil, and beans. Basically, more nitrogenous products you consume, it will help you increase more of this gamma aminobutyric acid, because amino is the word there. So any nitrogenous products you use is going to help you increase your GABA reserves. So, I mean, besides that, working out and meditation and yoga are well known and well published literature where it helps you get back to your rhythm of sleeping and everything. So with that, I would hope that people would, or hope that you guys have learned a little bit about what kind of drugs are being prescribed for what kind of diseases, and what are the dosages which people are taking and leading to overdose or habit formation. And hopefully with this some insight, you might be able to help people around you, or at least have some information when you are knowing that somebody is going through this. With that, I will close off this series, and I will get back just creating videos about next biology related issue or topic. With that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.